Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lunch and Learn with LaQuita and Adina. I'm Adina Collins. I am your resident business coach and tax expert. Also, I want to make sure that we acknowledge my lovely co-host, Miss LaQuita Monley. She is the military spouse and also creator of work from home solutions for military spouses as well as others that are seeking flexible employment. We are very, very happy to welcome our special guest, Mr. Rogers Vigne. He is an expert career transition and executive coach. And so, welcome back. How's everybody doing?
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. It's been an interesting day, but I'm doing good.
Good. Yeah. Many interesting days. Guess what, guys? We have gone ahead and made it to the second half of 2020. I think I mentioned to Rogers that I've decided to just reset the clock. So, we've just gone ahead and push the reset button for 2020. So, yes, yes, we've gone ahead and we've decided to go ahead and do that. How about that? We want to also take time to be able to thank our audience across Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, as well as YouTube. Please make sure to continue to like and share these videos. We know that they have been extremely helpful, and we think that you're going to continue to get wonderful content from us. So again, thank you so much. Make sure to like and share. We welcome also any questions that you may have. So, LaQuita, did you have anything?
No. Just like you said, thanks for everyone for joining across the various social media platforms. We appreciate the support each week, every Tuesday and every Thursday as we meet here from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do apologize for the late start today, starting here at 12:30, but we will wrap up in that same 45 minutes to an hour time frame if time allows us. Again, like Adina said, hit that like and share button. I know that you're going to be super blessed by the amazing information that Rogers is going to share with us as we continue to discuss the results of the results. And during this time, many of us have hit that reset button like Adina. And for those who aren't quite sure if you're going to hit that reset button, you want to listen to this because we need to know what the way forward is, and determine what the way forward is, and put a plan together. And Rogers is going to talk to us about a whole lot of good stuff today to help us in that reset mindset.
All right. Thank you for that introduction. I definitely appreciate it. So if I remember correctly from last time we spoke, you seemed to have some interest in learning more about the result of the result. It was kind of like a side comment to the main of the part of our conversation we had last time. So before I start diving into it, from my perspective, when I said that, what type of thought process, what evoked in your mind when I made that mention of the result of the result?
So it kind of, the thing that popped out to me when you said that, it's like, what was my reaction to whatever situation that I was dealing with? So the situation was a result, and my response to that situation determined the good, the bad, and the ugly of that. And how can we ensure that while we're making our way forward and we're getting the kind of results that we need, what is our response to it to ensure that we continue to get that forward progress? We don't want to get stalled in it, whatever it is. To me, it really dealt with mindset and reactions.
Okay. So that's why I was asking, because there's a couple of different ways that this concept works. One way is the mastery of self, where you, like you say, you're predetermining what your actions are going to be specifically to get a particular result based on what is happening around you. So you're mentally proactive before you become reactive.
Right.
So that's one path. Now, the other portion of the result is an understanding of self. Okay. So and in that case, let's say, okay, people say, look, I'm trying to get this job. Okay, I want to get this job so I can make more money. People think, and once they get that result, they think, okay, that's what That's the result I wanted. But actually, that's just the first result. Job that makes more money. Now, what is the result of that result? Because the result of that result is what you actually want. I want to be able to travel internationally twice a year. That is the result of the result. So this first result is not necessary, usually always, to get the actual result that you're wanting. There's more than one way to get there, like this may be it's a little controversial, but Adina knows me. I'm bold. I'll say it. So the concept the concept of why was drug dealers popular? Why was drug dealing popular? Okay, for the longest time, people would think, oh, it's because it's because it was being a drug dealer was the thing. Being a drug dealer was not the thing. The result of what being a drug dealer allowed you to do or to be seen as is what people wanted. I want people to see me as powerful. I want to have financial wealth. I want to be influential. I want to be able to afford nice things. I want to attract the opposite sex. Those are the things. That was the result of the result. Right. So if you took out the first result, which is becoming a drug, and input that with something else, and you can still get this result, then that path becomes just as appealing as the previous one. So understanding of self. So what is it that I really want? What is it that people truly want behind what it is that they're asking for?
So from that perspective, it's like, this is the place where people truly define their why. I want to be an entrepreneur, but why do I want to be an entrepreneur? I want to be an entrepreneur for generational wealth, for family, for, like you said, the traveling. What is my why that's pushing me to do what I'm saying I want to do? What's my motivation?
What's my true motivation?
My true motivation.
Yeah, it's getting down to the foundation of it, because a lot of times, again, you can achieve that without necessarily always having to do what you think is the first two steps. Like back in the day, like you say, hey, you go get a college degree that could guarantee you a good job. It's going to guarantee you money. It's going to guarantee you all these things, right? So you think, I got to get this degree, but that, as we all know now, it took us a couple of generations to figure it out. That's not always the case. The result of that result was, I want to have a stable home. I want to have, be able to not just pay my bills, but to be successful and to be a person who's not dependent upon anyone else. That's the lifestyle they were looking for, which could have been achieved in a lot of other different ways. Not saying that college was bad or anything like that, but there's, understanding what is it that I actually really want. And then create your path to get there based on that result, as opposed to the first result, because you get to that first result and realize this ain't what it is.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a successful drug dealer, but I can't lead the street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't sleep at night. Yeah, I got this degree and I did it. I finally did it, but now I'm stuck into working in the industry that I really don't care for all that much. Yeah. So you can find if you focus on the first level of the result, then you can find yourself missing out on what the actual result that you want. Now, when you were speaking, you're talking about the result. Result is that's the area of what I call personal leadership. Personal leadership is the ability to truly lead self. Like how leadership. People think leadership is leading other people, but real leadership is leading of self, to where people begin to model how you lead yourself. So they're following how you lead and not necessarily you telling them what to do. So if you model a certain level of expertise, a certain level of understanding, a certain level of success for yourself, then people begin to model that. And next thing you know, you got 2 or 3 people and 4 or 5 people and 25 people. Like, okay, they look like they're following you, but they're following the leader. You as you lead yourself. Right. Yeah. That's why when you stop being you, they can't deal with you no more. Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? You start focusing on them and you lose yourself. And now you can't take them no further than where you have taken yourself.
That's a real good. That's a real good point. So if you don't truly know who you are, what your goals are, what your why is, what your motivation is, then you're truly not going to be able to lead people but for so much. I think a saying that my pastor tells us is that we can't do anything above the level of the knowledge that we currently have. So if I'm not continuing to try to grow myself and improve myself, those that if I'm aspiring to be a coach or a leader in my corporate job, I can't lead them past what I already know. So I have to continue to search and look for greater and improve myself in that. So that process of the result is something that can be continuous. Am I correct?
Yeah. In order for longevity, it has to be. I think a trap that a lot of parents fall into, and I'm just, for disclaimer, I'm not a parent, but I'm a kid. And I can
like that.
So I speak from the kid's perspective. It is, and I think it hit you a little bit different as I speak from the kid perspective. It is a dangerous place to grow past your parents. It is a scary to grow past your parents.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes your parents stop their progress of personal growth when you arrive. Right? To focus completely on taking care of you, not saying that that's not a good thing, but maybe it's not the best approach to completely ignore yourself while you're raising your kid, because whatever level you are, what are you gonna do when your kid grows past that?
Yeah.
Or get to that point, and now their life experiences, yes, it's going to be a lot different from yours, but if they don't have a frame of reference, if you don't have a frame of reference as a parent to be able to to be able to engage with them in actual real conversation, then it's gonna be a place where the kids gonna be like, at that point they have to find somebody else or some other group or some other source is going to help them get some insight and inroads as to what am I working towards next. Sometimes that work out okay, sometimes it can't. That's how a lot of times you have a kid that's grown and you're like, I don't know how to talk to him, I don't know how to talk to her.
That's a really good point, because I think that's something that probably every parent and every child goes through. And it's really, even for me, speaking as a child, and then I'll address it as a parent, when you get to that place where you know that, whatever it is that in the natural, or even in where spiritual things are concerned, where my capacity has exceeded the capacity of my parents, at that point, it's up to the child to learn how to maneuver in that respectfully, and because if you could do it respectfully, then the parents will honor and understand, okay, my child has exceeded my capacity. That's my goal as a parent, for my child to do bigger and better and greater. And so now I value my children's opinion. And I know that if I give them something, or if I'm dealing with something, for me as my own life, and as example, my parents and my grandparents value where I've grown to and the things that I've achieved in my life. And so they value my opinion. But I did have to learn to navigate that respectfully. Before I learned how to navigate that respectfully, it was very chaotic. It was very chaotic. And it's amazing that you mentioned that, because I was sharing with Adina just before we got on this broadcast of a situation where we were talking about college, and how parents have to learn how to navigate that carefully, and not pushing their children to try to go to colleges or do things in the traditional sense if they want to do it in a non-traditional manner. And the example that I gave was a mistake that me and my husband made with my oldest son. My oldest son loved music, and he wanted to do things musically. In the school that he wanted to go through at that time, we didn't have a great understanding of non-traditional schools, because that's not what we did. We went to a traditional college. So when he brought the information to us, even after talking to the school administrators, we still decided, based off of our limited information, not to let him go. Hindsight being 2020, that was a mistake that we made, because we did not honor and respect and believe in his ability to have done that research for the thing that he was very passionate about. And not to mention, we didn't want him to go into music. That's number one. Number two, we didn't know a lot about the school, so we cut it. And he was able to overcome that. And he's still now in the music industry, but his path could have been a bit more straightforward had we been able to respect what he knew and trust in what he knew. So talking about, in keeping that in the result of the result, that produced a lot of results that we were not ready for.
The result is, see, in that case, the result is you want him to be stable. You want him to be able to take care of himself. You want him to be happy and successful in his career. Those are the results that you wanted, right? Mm-hmm. But to get that result, that first result, you're thinking he had to go to college and do like a career similar to what we did. Yeah. That was you thought that's the, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So you have to think, okay, what do we ultimately want for my child? I want them to have this, and this. Okay. Is it possible, just question, not saying it's always going to work out this way, but is it possible that they can get there through this other path? Is there anyone out there that he can model that would, show that that's been successful using that particular path? Mm-hmm. So, because a lot of times, I mean, there's not as much trailblazing necessary in 2020 as there was, even 20, 40 years ago. So, it's just kind of looking at it differently. And plus, again, I did a video last week talking about the importance of understanding self. Understanding really who you are, and that's a big part of how my coaching approach is you really understanding who you are in your professional capacity, because you're not going to really deviate from that. You're going to end up doing it in some shape, form, or capacity anyway. Mm-hmm. So to understand self as early as possible, and then start gathering your experiences and guiding yourself into the realms where you could be the most gain the most knowledge and everything, is going through the path based on who you are, then success comes as a byproduct, because, it's almost like putting, if I put seaweed on a mountaintop, you know what I'm saying, versus putting that seaweed in the water.
Yeah.
Could it still grow on the mountaintop? Maybe. Will it ever grow to its capacity where it really could be? Absolutely not. So you have to first know that you're seaweed.
Yeah.
And that's why it's extremely important. The goal is to grow, to be boisterous and all this stuff. But you got a mountain plant up there, take that seaweed and say, sit right here like me, and you're like, but that's not what I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. It's my husband made a couple of good comments on here. He says, just speaking in reference to some points that you were making, he says, great point. We have to understand what it is we want, and we have to also understand that there are multiple ways to achieve your goal. Perfect. When you were saying between placing the seaweed on the mountaintop versus in the sea, it belongs in the sea, so it's going to reach its maximum potential when it's placed in its right environment. He also goes on to say that we cannot be afraid to try different things to achieve our desired end state. And that's so true. It's like sometimes we get locked in on a target in a way that we think is the way, and we absolutely, positively turn off anything else that speaks against that path that we've chosen. Even if, and for those of us that are believers, even if it's like you don't believe the Holy Ghost is trying to lead you in any other direction, when the Lord is saying, look, I'm giving you all of these other ways, and you keep turning them down. That's why you keep getting these results, right?
Hey, don't get me started on the whole spiritual right. Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. How many miracles did Jesus perform the exact same way?
Really good point.
He never did any miracle the exact same way. He had, and that was purposeful, because people will get caught up into a process, a particular way, a religion, a way of doing things. This is the only way to do it. And there's no, he didn't heal the man, say, okay, you can see. He didn't heal the man, say, okay, I'm gonna put some mud on your face. He didn't, go talk to the priest. He gave you as many different ways of of achieving the same result. The goal is to get the result.
Yeah.
And to have faith in self and believe that it's possible. That's all is necessary. So the path you take to doing that, you know what I'm saying? And none of those paths he showed impacted or hurt any other person. It only affected the person it created joy and awe to those who saw it. It created joy for the person who experienced it. So that's the model. From that perspective.
Absolutely. He says that the student can always become the teacher. That, for those of us that are in those positions of authority, we're mentoring, we're coaching as parents, if that is not your end goal for that person that you're mentoring, that you're, if we're talking spiritual things, if you're mentoring, you're discipling them as parents, if your end goal is not for that person to be bigger, better, faster, greater than you are, then you need to rethink your position.
That's a whole conversation.
I'm not going. That's my fruit. That's my result. If you are super fabulously awesome and you have had anything to do with me, then that's a reflection of what you learned from me. As a parent, I want my children to be 10 times greater than I could ever imagine myself being, because that's what parents do. So,
if you're an apple tree and you are known for having the most beautiful, amazing, big, ripe, amazing apples, right? And one of your apples falls from the tree, right, rolls down the road a little bit, hits a spot, decays. The seeds from that apple create an entire orchard in another area down the way.
Yeah.
You're a single, beautiful, you are known as the tree that had the best. Now you have an orchid, which is the result of you.
Yeah.
Right? How does that single apple tree now feel with the orchid that's now down the way that more people are going down there and seeing the apple tree? How does that apple tree feel? Should you feel pride, or are you upset that now I'm not getting the attention that I used to get, and I'm not seen as, what I was seen as at one point?
The goal should be, the result of that result should be the students, the parent, whoever, they're going to great, and then they've been able to take other people to a level of greatness themselves. It should be a reciprocal process.
Yeah, absolutely. And now more people are coming down that way to the orchard, but they're also seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now more is drawn in the area based on what you have, what has produced from you. So you don't lose. You know what I'm saying? There's no loss, and it's very hard to get that through the heads of some leaders, the current leaders, who going to end up getting supplanted anyway. But if they don't kind of get out of that mindset of it's okay from the fruit of you to grow out and become this awesome thing, it's more honor for you at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
And I think one of the things that I think always ends up coming up, whether it's, with leadership and mentoring, some people have the skewed perspective that I need to clone who I am in order for that person to be successful. And I mean, this can even come down to even family relationships. If you're not falling within, since Rogers took it there in reference to Jesus, here's the thing. Jesus had all of these roles that were put upon him, but he chose not to exercise what you thought about me, and instead really operated in his true identity. He knew the reason, he knew the mission why he came. Mm-hmm. And so the thing is that when you have all of these outside forces that are trying to define what they thought of, because they were looking for a ruler, an emperor that would overthrow Rome, versus they didn't understand the mission why he came, which was to, save.
Yeah. He was to institute a revolution. And he told you straight up, greater things you will do.
Yes.
Of all the stuff he did, he said, look, you won't do even greater. So if the ultimate coach that ever lived has told his clients, his disciples, that greater things you would do, who the heck is anybody else that's came after him could have any type of a different thought process?
Bingo. Like nailed right on the head. That it should be our desired results. What the things that we're doing, the goals that we're achieving, the boundaries that we're pushing ourselves to, those that we're connected with should be bigger, better, faster, greater, 10 times, 100 times. They should be filling their max capacity as well, their max potential. And we should be grateful to be a part of it. Not in the sense though, well, they couldn't have done that without me, but I'm grateful to be a part of this journey that you're taking. I'm grateful and honored that you will allow me to be a part of this journey and be able to help to build and encourage you. And at the same time, another result of that result is your success builds and encourages me to continue doing what I'm doing. It's still a reciprocal process. It's not all about
it's the ultimate validation. Yeah. You know, how much validation does that apple tree need to know that its fruit is off the chain?
Yeah.
My fruit completes the whole orchard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let me kind of go into why this is so important. Again, I'm going to speak from the perspective of the kid. You know, I mentioned earlier how it is scary to be out there and not have that person or persons that you can kind of, you know, have the type of connection with, or they can even give you some type of idea what it feels like to go to a journey to become and produce something, you know, especially if you're doing something that's relatively new. If you have a call to bring something new that doesn't exist, that is a journey that it is fraught with, you know, uncertainty, ambiguity. It's scary as all get out. It feels like failure. You know, it's so much that you go through that it's like it's the ultimate wilderness experience. The bigger the calling, the more in depth the wilderness experience is. And it is very important that you have, you know, some type of resource or somebody to integrate with and talk to, and you know that's actually been down that type of road before. That's why it's important for someone in the family, you know, to have went through a similar type of journey for themselves and did not stop. Yeah. So they can have a frame of reference that they can instantly connect with. Otherwise, they're gonna go try to find somebody, you know, that can tell me where the heck where am I, you know, why does this feel like this? Is this supposed to feel like this? Am I going to be okay? You have so many questions as you go on this journey. So it's very important, you know, and you come out on the other side a whole different person. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I like to have an idea of who the heck I'm becoming. And you know, I know the result of my result. I know what I'm going for, but you know, is the path supposed to feel like this? Is it supposed to look like this? You know, and so is it you have those type of questions, and you know, it can really affect the time it takes for you to get from point A to point B. You know, and you're in the condition that you're in when you get there. You know, do you want to have to go through the drug addiction and then get out of it and all of the stuff to get there? Or do you need to know, I want to have some really low times. Don't mess with that stuff there because it's going to make you go even lower for longer. you know, so, you know, that's how people fall into those pitfalls, because they don't have a resource around them that can say, hey, you're supposed to be at this point. You know, this is a part of the journey. You don't have to, you know, self-medicate or get involved in some other things that's going to be contrary to your health or to your mental state as you're going.
Yeah. It's important, again, that just goes back to what you were saying at the very top of the hour. We have to understand and know who we are. And when we understand and know who we are, and we have mapped out the path that we need to take in order to get to our desired results, and being flexible in that journey, it makes the journey less stressful. I'm not saying no stress. I'm not saying there's no challenges, but it makes you more prepared to handle the challenges because you've placed the proper people around you, because you know your path. You know your why. You know why you're doing what you're doing. You know what that ultimate motivation is. You know what that ultimate goal is. And so you've been wise enough to surround your people that are going to surround yourself with people who are going to help you get there. And when you're sitting in that place, so if you're, again, to those that are coaches and mentors, when you're sitting in that place now where you're cultivating others, we can't, my husband makes a very good comment here. We cannot allow jealousy and envy to trickle in that process. Especially when the people who we're mentoring and cultivating begin to get their shine, and they're growing and they're going, and it seems like they're doing bigger and better things. That's like what you were saying. That is a reflection of your journey. That's a reflection of your success. And when you're looking at it from all of those positive angles, falling off into the pitfalls and the traps, you'll be less likely to do it. Less likely to fall into those pitfalls and shortcut your own destiny. You won't shortcut, you won't short step, you won't try to find some crazy workarounds to get there. You won't find yourself doing what many of us have seen others do, try to drag someone else down so that you can step up. You won't do that. Those negative things, it shouldn't happen. Let me put it like that.
A lot of people are concerned about me not getting the honor or me not getting the recognition that I feel they feel like they deserve. But you don't have to worry about that, because I'm 100% believer in what you sow, you're gonna reap. It's gonna come. You're gonna get it. Like, for example, it may be kind of a different type of example, but you've heard of Bruce Lee, right? Okay, people know who Bruce Lee is. Do you know that also he had a very extremely wise and extremely talented teacher called Ip Man? Okay, they've done 3 movies for Ip Man over the past 10 years recently. In one of the movies he's fighting Mike Tyson. Okay.
Wow.
Donnie Yen plays him in the movies, but people are like, okay, well, he trained a lot of what Bruce Lee created. His version, his Jeet Kune Do is based off of Wing Chun, which was created by Ip Man. Okay, he learned it from him as a kid. So why would Ip Man be mad that Bruce Lee is now a super huge megastar and I'm not? Ip Man, what he did during his day changed the course of an entire country. If you go back and look at the history of China at the time, he was an extreme influence in the martial arts area. There's nothing this, and his honor came anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if it wasn't for him, then you don't have Bruce Lee. If you don't have Bruce Lee, Lord, you probably don't have half the other, martial arts stars.
Jackie Chan and Jet Li for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So there's so much that it doesn't make a lot of sense for Abraham to be jealous of the children of Israel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's so much honor in that, so jealousy isn't even. Jealousy is an unnatural thing. Is a very unnatural mindset. It only produces opposite of growth. You can't grow in jealousy. And you're not growing, you're dying. So it's a death state of mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it really serves no true purpose. So that's I don't really subscribe to that at all, and me being human, I can't say I haven't felt the twinges of it every now and then in different situations, but I try to quell that mess early, and kill it when it tries to pop up, because it doesn't serve anybody any purpose.
Yes, so true. The result of the result. I think that's something that we should all have an understanding of and work with that, right? Because when we understand it, what is the result of the result for you? Like, If I was to ask you the question, okay, Rogers, what is the result for you right now? Like, how is that working for you, or how are you working that principle, should I say, right now?
I have understanding my true motivations behind stuff, because I can say, man, I want to get $100 million, profit this year, right? Okay, that's one result. But what is that ultimately going to do for me? What is it that I want to do with that? Let's say I have it now. What is it? Is it having it? Does it stop there, or is it what I'm going to do with that once I have it? Okay, I have a nonprofit foundation I want to invest in. I have application I want to create. I have, so I have these list of things I want to do. So now my focus shifts on, okay, outside of getting 100 million, let's work towards getting these things and let the 100 million come as a byproduct.
Good deal. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I could be capping their initial result at 100 million, but if I do these things, I could pop up with 3.
Exactly.
You never know, because you're kind of focusing on the wrong part of it.
Your result is you earn that 100 million. The result of that result is I was able to invest in the nonprofit. I was able to get my application, my application started, and the other things that I wanted to do with the 100 million. So that is the result of I've achieved that goal, and now what is that goal going to allow me to achieve? What are the fruits of that goal?
Right. So if I focus on the fruits of the goal, the first goal becomes a byproduct. Like, for example, let's say like I had a client recently. She wanted to become debt free. She wanted to lose weight, and she wanted to start a business. Okay, and she thought she had to go down these 3 different paths to get these 3 things done. I say, well, if you pick one path, what is it that you really, really want? We went through the process, and we found out what she really wanted was autonomy. She wanted to be able to control her day and be able to provide some type of legacy product or service or something that her and her family could enjoy. Okay, if we focus on that and everything you have to do to create that, becoming debt free and losing the weight has to happen. See what I'm saying? Those things have to happen, because it's going to constantly drive you to manage your budget differently, manage yourself differently, manage your time differently, what you have to put into your body, how you're eating, when you're eating, staying active, getting up early, going to bed on time. It forces you to do that, because that's what you have to be for the result of the result. So now, not only did you get the result that you wanted, but you also achieved the other things you had as a byproduct that you wanted as well. So that's why I think that result is so powerful, because you end up getting the other stuff that you wanted as you go down the path to get what it is that you ultimately want.
Yeah, that's real good. That's real good. The result of the result.
Well, people get good because they feel like, I'm going to miss out. I'm going to not. I do want to get debt free. I do want to lose the weight. You will. You will. But let's say that you don't focus on the result, and you want to focus on, now you're debt free and now you've lost the weight. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, not really. I look good and I'm debt free, but I'm not happy because you didn't get what you ultimately wanted.
Yeah.
I experienced that myself. I thought, man, look, I want a 6-figure job. I want to buy a house. I'll have a nice car, and I'll be good. That's what I wanted, right? So I actually achieved it. I got the 6-figure job. I had the nice car. I bought a house, and I'm sitting in my house with my car in the garage, saying, on vacation from my 6-figure job, and was not happy.
How many people talk about those results?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't. How can I not be happy right now? It's because what I've always wanted to become was the kind of work I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that I had to, I had to have this first and do that, and then I achieve that level of happiness, and then I can mind go about doing that. But if I'd have jumped into this over here first, all that would have came
With it.
along with happiness and satisfaction and everything else. You know what I'm saying? As I went, so I experienced that. I've experienced it myself. I know what it feels like. That's how you can hear about millionaires as miserable. You're like, what the heck wrong with you? You're a millionaire. That's
Right.
because that wasn't the result of the result for them.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So if we've got to first determine what success means to us and not
Yes.
let someone else determine what that means. And so, you know, someone's version of success might not be becoming a millionaire or six-figure income earner or, and, you know, having the huge house and a nice car. Their version of success may simply be, okay, I want to live comfortably. I want to be able to spend as much time as possible with those that I love. I mean, whatever you define success is, that should be the result of your results. That should be your goal. Now that you've determined within yourself what is truly going to bring me joy, what is truly it is that I want. Like your client discovered she wanted autonomy. And in order to get that autonomy, these are some of the things that she wanted to put in place for herself to have it. But ultimately, she had to realize, I want autonomy. So, what is, you know, I'll ask our viewers, what is it that you really want? How do you define success? Not letting anything else influence your definition. Not TV, not radio, not family members, not co-workers, not anyone. That's something you got to search within you to find out what makes you happy, what makes you tick, what puts a smile on your face.
And
And what,
don't feel like you're being selfish. I'm talking to the parents and the people that have other people that they're responsible for. Listen, you are not being selfish in making the definition of that for yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're no good for other people. It's important, as we talked about earlier, that you go down the path of becoming the best version of you
Mhm.
for the people that you are connected to, that you're responsible for. That's why in the airplane they say put the mask on your face first before you go try to take care of the baby, because you try to take care of the baby first, both
Real
of y'all
good,
pass out.
real good, real good, real good, real good. That's real good. Very well stated. When we're looking for, and to make it really clear, we're not, as Roger said, that we're not saying be selfish, because me being the better version of me is what my family needs. Me being a lesser version of what I could be makes me not what I need to be for my family. So, or my friends or my, you know, ministry partners or wherever I am, me being the best version of myself, reaching, uh, reaching out and being able to accomplish what I was designed to do, that makes it better for everyone all the way around. Now, my goals and the way that I achieve that, you don't want to be selfish in that. But if
Mhm.
your heart and your intent is correct, you won't be. You
Yeah,
know, why do you want what I want? Why do you want what you want?
yeah. I had another client. She just decided, you know what? I want to have more control over my destiny. You know, she was in an unfortunate marriage, and she's in the process of getting out of it, and she was pregnant. And she like, I need to have more control over my destiny. She was like a couple of semesters away from getting a degree. So you say, forget it. She went in, she took 20 plus hours a semester while pregnant. And for that
Hmm.
first year, she got a family member to help watch her current kids. She had two or three other kids already. And she just pushed. She just said, look, I'm just gonna go and do this,
Mhm.
because not because I want the degree, but because I want to be able to establish myself so I can be a better version of myself for my kids. That was her whole portion. So and then she did it. She got the degree, she got the job, she started getting the experience she needed, and now she's in a position, and she's in project management, and she can do it extremely well, and she has a credential behind her because she decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not. And again, it wasn't her. Oh, what about the kid that's in your stomach, or what about you spending time with your kids during this short period of time? It is a short-term investment for a long-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you want to still be in, in public housing with your kids, 4 or 5 years from now, or do you want to have a short term of struggle, which you're going to have that anyway, but 10 years later, you're sitting in a 5-bedroom house and people come in and out whenever they like, and everybody wants to be around you because you position yourself to be that haven for your family. That's what you want. That's what you ultimately want. So it's just be understand what you actually want first, and just push towards that, and you'll get everything else, as I said earlier, along the way.
Yeah, true. She had a clear picture of what she wanted, and she had a clear picture on what it was going to take for her to achieve that, and she put all her whole energy into that. And the results of her result is she accomplished what she wanted with the education. She accomplished what she wanted within the career, and that enabled her to provide for her children the way she wanted to provide for her children. That was the ultimate end result for her.
Mm-hmm.
For many of you that are watching, what is your ultimate end result? Basically, to sum up the result of the result, after you have achieved what you thought you wanted, what are the fruits of that achievement? And are the fruits of that achievement what you truly wanted in your heart? Because if the fruits of that achievement are not what you really wanted in your heart, did you really achieve your goal?
Yep.
Did you? If you're in that, and I saw it so often in the within government service work, and I know, Adina, you've worked for the state before.
Right.
You've probably seen it there, where you have people that achieve the status that they wanted in those career fields, but are 100% miserable.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, in especially, I guess, in my case, having worked for the state of Louisiana, the thing was, you did have to make certain career shifts. You had to be able to move around because you were capped, if you will, with certain income. And the thing is it's the method that some people chose to use to be able to advance. And if you're leaving a bloody trail behind you of people that helped you, staff that helped to support you, people that even recommended you to be able to advance. Once you achieve that, and this is all that you have because this was the choice that you made, you weren't looking at, you were using one thing that may have defined worldly success, if you will, in reference to being able to reach a certain income level. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, what was it that was going to be the next after that? So you became a director, you became an executive director. But again, what work did I not finish doing within me where a 6-figure job now defined who I am? That's not who you are.
That's real good.
That is not who you are. That was a potential that was within you, but that's not who you are.
Yeah.
Who's your character? What's your character? What are your true desires? What is it about you that makes you different from anyone else? Who are you? And so it is going back always to the identity question. And I think a lot of times too, people end up adopting the identities that people try to put on them because it's just easier to float. And at some point you have to stop and say, wait a minute, this is what someone else put on me. And maybe I got lost because of a relationship, or maybe I got lost based upon the expectations that perhaps maybe even my parents put on me. They wanted a doctor, but medicine wasn't my passion. Medicine wasn't the way that I chose to serve the world. And it really wasn't my why. And so there's so many people, again, and Rogers can attest to this, that people have literally had to step back and say, honestly, I don't know who I am. I have to go on this now discovery journey of who I truly am, because I don't know, because I've operated in this space for so long that I kept putting myself aside.
It's like
now, what do I do?
It's a mask. It's like the mask. No matter what kind of mask you put on, your skin go chafe under if you wear it too long.
Yes.
And if you wear a mask long enough, you won't even know what your skin look like.
Yeah.
All we do have is mask on, right? Trying to be what somebody else put on you, the more irritant you're getting, and as long as it's gonna take for you finally do take that mask off, you still don't look like who you are yet. You're scared of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't even know your tone yet. You don't know how smooth it is. You don't know if you get, if you're a guy, if you're gonna have facial hair or not. You don't know what you look like because you've been wearing this mask.
Yeah,
so you have to go through that process of healing and re-self-identification, just find out who the heck am I for real. So it's never healthy to wear that mask like that. I think you can wear it for the duration because you're deteriorating under there. And the longer you wear it, the uglier it's gonna be underneath.
Exactly. If the path, if what you think or what you are now, if you're resolute, I know who I am. I know my definition of success. And so is the question you should ask yourself: if what you've defined as success for you, your whys and your results of your whys, if that journey to get there is causing you to chip away at who you really are on the inside, is it worth it?
It's never worth it. And it's never worth it. And we know because we're giving. I 100% believe that your calling pulls you. It'll pull you into different realms and different places. Like for example, before project management and actually like business analysis really became a thing, I had an idea that's something that I wanted to do when I was in high school. So I wanted to deal with computers. I want to deal with people. So I tried to, as I went to learn more about those two things purposefully, opportunities start to open up for me that generally doesn't happen. Because when the student is ready, the teacher or teachers shall appear. So those opportunities open up for you. Thing is, are you bold enough? Do you have enough courage enough to go ahead and walk through those doors? Because you have to take those opportunities, and you have to allow, and you're not without losing yourself. You have to allow yourself to go through that journey of becoming that person that you need to be. Like for example, I started off at an HBCU, Southern University in Baton Rouge. That's where I went for my freshman year of college. But the degree plan I wanted wasn't there, right? So I had decided, you know what? Information systems is available here. I'm just gonna major in journalism and just minor in computer science. I decided to just change my whole path because I wanted to stay at the HBCU. Well, apparently God said, no. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get you out of Southern and we're gonna put you at a school out here in Thibodaux, Louisiana, that I didn't even know existed. Not only that, I'm gonna put you at a school where the mascot is a Confederate soldier. Because in the world you're about to go into, you need to be prepared to deal with those type of dynamics. And the HBCU for you, Rogers, is going to prepare you for that dynamic as well as you need to be. I need to be able to step into that and say, okay, this is a part of is that the lifestyle of a person that does business analysis? Yes. Okay, that's why I have to allow myself to go. But I could have pushed it and stayed at Southern or try to go to another HBCU and came out not as prepared socially, from a social dynamic aspect, or even from an educational aspect, because again, I wasn't getting the right degree, and I couldn't elongate the time it took for me to get success. So, are you working against the system that's being provided for you to get the success you want because it doesn't feel comfortable? It's not supposed to be, Or do you want to go down that path, deal with the uncomfortable, deal with the ambiguity, learn from it, and become? Becoming is always an uncomfortable process. The caterpillar don't feel good inside that cocoon. Trust me, it's not sexy in there. When it's sexy when you get out.
Yeah. I mean, that was real good. Becoming who you are designed to become is never a comfortable journey. It's not a comfortable journey, and you have to make those. My husband always tells the kids, you have to learn how to make those hard right choices. Making the easy choice that's generally the wrong choice is easy, but the result of that result, you don't want it. None of it. You don't want it.
And that goes back to what you were saying earlier, you know, saying, so these people are saying this towards me. These people are doing these things towards me. I know how I want to react. And I know if I talk to somebody like me and tell them how I react, they're going to say, yeah, I understand. But will that give me the ultimate result that I want to get?
Yeah.
You know, so should I respond differently to get closer to the result that I actually want, as opposed to reacting the way would be in my small cultural circle acceptable and understandable? But did I get what I really wanted? Is cursing the person because they call me a particular word going to get me what I ultimately want?
Yeah.
You know,
you're talking about utilizing a little wisdom there. Utilizing a little wisdom, understanding my environment. Yeah, I know me, and I know what my tipping point is. I understand the environment. I understand the people that I'm dealing with, and so now responding to them accordingly, so that A, they will understand my thoughts and feelings towards the matter, but B, I still get to achieve my goal. How can I do that? There is a way to do that.
Right.
And that result should be, I accomplished the mission, I achieved the contract, and now that I've got the contract, this is what I'm going to do. This is my way forward. This is the trail that I'm going to blaze for others like me, and open those doors so that they can come through them as well. It's the result of result, and it comes down to our ability to make those wise decisions, to make those hard, right decisions every step of my life, making those hard, right decisions despite what others might think. Now, don't let anybody else define who I am and what I want and what my success is. I define it, surround myself with people who can help me get there, and once I get there, what am I doing?
Stay focused.
Staying focused. You know, we have a viewer here. She says that her desired results, her results is her financial freedom, her son owning his own home, and them being able to help others to achieve financial freedom.
Now, see, what I would ask her is, define what financial freedom is. What does that look like? You know, you know what I'm saying? Because that's anytime you have an answer that sounds like the same answer that 9 million other people can give you, you're probably not going deep enough. You know, so my question to her is, define what financial freedom. What is that end moment where you feel and know that you have achieved the instance of financial freedom? Because that answer could be different between one person to the next person to the next.
She said free.
Huh?
She said debt free. Financial freedom. The definition for her for financial freedom is being debt free.
And what does debt free do for her? See, I'm about to go into a whole session with her virtually right quick. You know, because my question is, what is that going to do? What is she going to do with it? Like, what is it? What? There's something deeper there outside of financial freedom and being debt free that she is wanting, and she's waiting for the She's waiting for the financial freedom and the debt free to feel free enough to go for that thing that she really wants. So my question is, what is it that thing that she really wants? Because being debt free and having, being debt free may not necessarily be required to have before she starts going for the thing that she really wants, and that could become a byproduct as she goes toward that. That's what, if I was coaching her, that's how I would start to guide.
On the side of your screen there, Rogers, on the right side, you should see something that says comments. You'll be able to see her comments.
Okay. Debt free, no mortgage, to buy a car outright. Okay, we're talking about a lot of. We're still kind of surface. Sister D, we might have to talk. So, because I really want to get to the root of what it is that you really want. We're talking about a lot of the result debt free, the result no mortgage, the result buying a new car. That's all great, but there's something that you are trying to become. And that person that you are becoming has the ability to be debt free and have no mortgage and buy a car, right? So my question is, who are you trying to become? And as you go towards trying to become that person, that person can't do all the things that you're talking about.
That's good. So tell the audience, Rogers, how can they contact you? How can Dee get in touch with you so you can help her dig deeper?
All right, so the website is mdself.com, like medical doctor is mdself.com. All my contact information is in the footer. I'm also on LinkedIn at Rogers Vigne. I'm also on Instagram as Rogers Vigne, as Vigne, as you see on the screen right there. And just reach out to me. My email address is easy, is Rogers Vigne at mdself.com. Shoot me an email, hit me up on LinkedIn, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to be able to assist. Yep, correctly. That's the way you put it in the comments. That's right.
And you said your email was Rogers Vigne?
Yeah, it's Rogers Vigne with no spaces at mdself.com.
Okay. We got it out there. So thank for those that have joined us. We really appreciated your comments and your engagement today. You have Rogers' website there as well as his email address, and he's available across LinkedIn and Instagram and the social media platform, and simply search his name, Rogers Vigne. Yep. So does anyone else in the audience have any other questions as we bring today's episode to a close? Miss Adina, you hadn't said a whole lot, but when you did, it was real powerful. So you're going to
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I guess my business partner rubbed off on me just a little bit. But no, I think this is such an important topic, because I think a lot of times that even when we're transitioning, and of course, COVID has put all of us in the biggest transition ever. Mm-hmm. It is important to be able to quiet yourself and to be able to just be able to rethink some things, and certainly to be able to re-examine, who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, and even to be able to examine if you're even in the right place.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is what's really helpful, in reference to career transitioning, even, career discovery, because a lot of times, I mentioned that Rogers also is an executive coach. Think about so many people that we kind of, mentioned earlier today that have made it up the ladder, but they made it up the ladder, have no idea who they are, and hate what they're doing. Hate it. So this is a perfect time for you to be able to reach out and connect with Rogers, because the thing is that sometimes it does take someone else outside of you to be able to pull out the why.
Yeah.
And I think that is, he has definitely demonstrated today that this is why you need to know, this is why you would need a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to take a minute right now to thank some of my friends and family that have joined. I appreciate your support. I want to give a quick shout out to Pastor Grace Kamani. She's joined the show and been giving some great support all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Pastor Grace, thank you so much for joining us, and as well as Pastor Dan Davis and his lovely wife. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We were part of their ministry, Pastor Dan Davis and his lovely wife, Pastor Andrea, right out of Vilseck, Germany. Guys, thank you so much. I know it's late for both of you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us and tuning in regularly. We surely appreciate your love and your support that you've been showing. I just want to take a minute and to thank those two great pastors who have been a very big blessing into me and my family's life. So thank you guys for joining us today. So if nobody else has anything else, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Rogers, thank you so much for joining us. Again, we apologize for the tardiness. That was all my fault. Ms. Adina, always, you were fabulous and wonderful. To our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope viewers, guys, thank you again. Continue to like and share this broadcast. If you're joining us for the first time on YouTube, and please hit that subscribe button and share this video. I know that the content today was amazing, and we all want to perfect and understand who we are and the goals that we want to achieve, understanding the result of the result. So again, until next time, I'm LaQuita Monley, and you guys have a very great day. Take care.
Thanks for having me.